Between 10:15 and 10:30 you will see some magic, he said. Then we went and then we opened the box around 10:15. Nothing happened. And by 10:20, we really were thrilled to see that. It was really magic that was happening in front of our eyes. So we closed the box and then we ran back to Dr. Veeresh's room and then we showed him, this is what has happened, sir. The task of an excellent teacher is to stimulate apparently ordinary people to unusual effort. The tough problem is not in identifying winners, it is in making winners out of ordinary people. Professor G.K. Veeresh. Now I am not going to much details about Professor Veeresh. Everything has been told. He was an assistant professor, he was a professor, he was a senior professor under UNDP, professor and head of the Department of Entomology, director of instruction and then dean. And he was the special officer for many of the newly established colleges like the College of Horticulture in Mudigare, College of Agriculture in Mandya, College of Agriculture in Hassan, College of Forestry in Panampet. For all these, he was the one who laid the foundation or the beginning of these colleges. And of course, he was also the Vice Chancellor of our university. Now, his speciality was Scarabidae, a group of root grubs, a group of beetles, for which he underwent taxonomy training with the British Museum of Natural History in London, and larval taxonomy on white grubs in Oregon State University, then soil biology and ecology in Rothamsted Experiment Station, and on termite research in Nigeria. And he was the one who actually laid foundation for several new areas of research in the department. So in fact, the department actually was very active during his period, I should say. He handed over 10 projects, guided 25 PhD students. It was 25 PhD students and 20 MSc students. Then he was the chairman for the International Union for Biological Sciences Commission on Social Insects. He organized the 10th International Soil Zoology Colloquium. He was the chairman for the 11th International Congress of IUSSI, International Soil Science Society Commission for the chapter on soil zoology, International Union for the Study of Social Insects, Indian chapter, and as has already been told, he was also on the expert committee after his retirement for the study on farmer suicides. Some of the major projects that he handled were the larval taxonomy of white grubs, soil macrofauna and their role in agriculture, and he was behind the beginning of the All India Research Project on white grubs. Okay, All India Coordinated Research Project on white grubs, which is still going on. And he had many ICR funded projects on termites, Smithsonian funded project on tiger beetles, management of coffee white stem borer. So these are some of the projects that he had. One of the major things that kept the entire department busy was the number of conferences and symposia that he used to organize. So he organized more than 10 or 12 international and national symposia. I'm not going to read all this. So they were in various areas like soil biology and ecology, crop loss assessment, pesticide residues, then pheromones, or many other things, including on pollinators. Okay, so lot of work he used to do. He was a wonderful organizer, and during his time, in fact, he placed the Department of Entomology and the University of Agricultural Sciences on the world map, because there used to be so many visitors from prestigious universities from abroad. They used to come to the department, and we used to get benefited by the lectures we used to listen from these invited guests, invited speakers. So that was a very interesting thing. And in fact, I should also tell one thing here, that many of my friends at that time in other departments, they were envious of entomology department, because especially from the Department of Plant Breeding, Physiology, and those students used to think that entomology department is so active, so many things are going on, but in their department nothing is happening. So this is the kind of jealousness that the other department people had. He was the founder president for the Indian Society of Soil Biology and Ecology and of the IUSSI, International Union for the Study of Social Insects, Indian chapter, and of course the Alumni Association of UAS Bangalore. He was the president for the Bangalore Beekeepers Association. He was the chief editor. He was the one who started this journal also, Journal of Soil Biology and Ecology. He was member for various organizations, including the Entomological Society of America, Central Insecticides Board, ICR Scientific Panel for Entomology and Nematology, and several QRTs and RACs of ICR institutes. And he also has published many books and proceedings of the conferences and symposia that he conducted. And many of these actually are a great source of information for students. Now he had over 175 publications on soil biology and ecology, social insects, then insect pathology, economic entomology, to name a few. And of course he was the person behind the Alumni Association, establishment of the Alumni Association, and also the building which Dr. Manjunath was just mentioning. The building was his, dream to have this. And I'll finish in just some 5 minutes about my relation with Dr. Veeresh. I think everybody will agree with me that he was a professor with an ever-smiling face. Okay, I don't think anybody would disagree with me with this. And he was an extraordinary teacher and a gentleman to the core, as many of my previous speakers have already told. Now, to quote Carl Jung about Dr. Veeresh, one looks back with appreciation to the brilliant teachers, but with gratitude to those who touched human feelings. So that is the kind of a person Dr. Veeresh was. Now, to tell you briefly about how and when I met Dr. Veeresh, it was in 1973 when I was in second year BSc Agriculture. Myself and one of my close friends, Ganeshya, we actually were into collecting insects, and we had collected one very interesting hairy caterpillar. The hairy caterpillar, we reared this hairy caterpillar. After a few days it became a pupa. The pupa was so large, and we expected a wonderful, very beautiful moth to emerge from this because it was from a hairy caterpillar. But to our surprise, after a few days, a very ugly looking moth emerged from this. It had a very huge abdomen with very small wings, and we thought there must be something wrong with this. Maybe we have not fed it properly or something like that, we thought. Then we thought that we should get it identified. We should go to the Department of Entomology and ask the professors there about what it is and why it is like this. So, and when we went to the department, we met Mr. Balasubramaniam, who was also a teacher in the Department of Entomology. We showed him, and then he said that this is not abnormal. This is a moth of this is the female of a moth, and for more information, you go and then meet Dr. Veeresh, he said. So we asked, we had not met Veeresh till then, we had not seen him. So we asked him where we can meet him. He showed his room, Dr. Veeresh's cabin. So we went there and knocked gently on the door. Then immediately Dr. Veeresh asked us to come inside. We went inside and then showed him this thing that we had in the box. He saw that and then he gave a smile to us, and then he said that this is not abnormal, this is a normal female of Lymantria ampla, he said. It is a female of Lymantria ampla. And then we asked us, it has such small wings and then it is unable to fly, how will it survive, we asked. Then immediately he said that this is the best thing about this, and this is the moth, this is the female moth. I am not going to tell anything more about this. What is the time now, he asked. It was around 9:45 a.m. Then he said that you take this box outside, go near the university library building. All this happened in Hebbal, okay, Hebbal campus. So university library building, and near that you keep this box open and then wait for some magic to happen. Between 10:15 and 10:30 you will see some magic, he said. Then we went and then we opened the box around 10:15. Nothing happened. And by 10:20, some small moths started coming and then hovering around us. They settled down on this box. Some of them entered into the box and then moved around this female moth that was there. Some of them climbed on the moth. These small moths were smaller than 1/4 of the female moth that we had in the box. So then we really were thrilled to see that. It was really magic that was happening in front of our eyes. So we closed the box and then we ran back to Dr. Veeresh's room and then we showed him, this is what has happened, sir. Again he smiled at us and then he said that, see, did I not tell that there is going to be a magic? This is the female, and as you said, it cannot move. It stays on the plant where it has fed and then developed, and then it is going to release a chemical which is called pheromone. That was the first time I heard the term pheromone. Okay, so it releases a chemical, and that chemical actually attracts the males. Males come and then mate with this. Is it not interesting? He said, it's very interesting, sir. And we said, and then he said that it is already mated and it may also lay a lot of eggs also, he said. And we thanked him, and then we came out of the room. And that was the day I decided that I would become an entomologist, because insects are so interesting. Now, to quote Patricia Cross, a very big famous educationist, the task of an excellent teacher is to stimulate apparently ordinary people to unusual effort. The tough problem is not in identifying winners, it is in making winners out of ordinary people. So this exactly was Dr. Veeresh.